Hello and welcome to FXcast. This is our market analysis for Tuesday, June 21st. In each of our videos, we try to come up with a high probability trading setups. We'll look at the gold chart. We'll come with a low volatility watch list, an inside bar watch list, and we'll review the economic calendar to see if they affect any of our open or potential trades. As always, please send your questions to analysis@fxcast.com. Let's pull up the charts. As always, we start off with the gold chart, and we can see right when we come to our RSI on the hourly, you can see it's in the middle of in the neutral zone, and that pretty much describes our price action. As we come over here to our daily, we can see we put in a doji today, and price action is still just kind of sitting around in the new trading session. We've been talking about this channel here. Resistance of 1550, support of 1513ish, and buying and shorting the extremes, but also watching volume, because if we get volume as we get close to the extremes, it could be a possible breakout. As we look at today's action, really the last couple of days, we see volume declining. So on this move up here, and even with the doji that we placed today, volume declined. So again, we're waiting for the market to tell us we're in a clear uptrend. Which way does this want to break out its consolidation? When it does break, it really should break nicely in either direction. We know our currency pair that's tracking well with gold is the Aussie dollar, and we can see the consolidation that's in. Now the difference is on this chart, the Aussie dollar is coming down. On the gold daily, it's kind of on a rise. So there is a little difference there. But we're still in a range. Now we have the 20 and the 50 moving average acting as resistance. We also can see on the daily that continued drop off in volume here. 3 days where we're dropping down in volume. So again, we can buy and short the extremes or wait for the breakout. We can kind of see with this doji that was placed in today, and now we're falling back and that's at the doji. It's also, you could say, a hammer at the 50 moving average, and now we're pulling back, and you can see that in the price action, down and up, almost an M right here on the hourly, up, down, up, down. Thus, we have a very wide range for our volume profile. So again, another one that I would sit on hands and let the market tell us what we want to do. The pound dollar has been following our uptrend line here. We've been waiting for this to break out, and we've gotten some wicks. So it's very important to note that buyers are finding value at 1.600. At 1.600, buyers are saying buy it. They bought it here, they bought it here, they bought it here, and they bought it last week, and they bought it on Monday here today. So buyers are finding value at 1.600. So that's fine. We know that there's a buy down at the 1.600, as we just said. And the thing to note, though, is that we do tend to consolidate before we decide what to do. So look at here, we consolidated, we decided what to do, came down, went up, consolidated, came down. So we may need to consolidate before the market decides whether or not it finally wants to break down below 1.600, come down to the 200 moving average, which would get us down here at this swing low, or if we're going to make higher. You can almost say that the market likes to make these W's and these M patterns, and maybe this is just an M pattern coming down to do this. So we're going to let the market tell us what we want to do on this one also. Finally, we have the euro dollar. You can see the big M pattern here on the daily that we're watching, but at the same time, you can see our zones here, and we came down into this auction area, and immediately the buyers came and pushed us up to the 20 and the 50 moving average. Now, what's interesting is that we talked about the drop off in volume, but on the euro dollar, we are not seeing a drop off of volume down here. So as we come back up, that's good that buyers are doing that. Now we're at the 20 and the 50 moving average, and we also have, a little resistance going on in here around 1.45. When we come over to our market profile, we can see RSI is overbought, wants to head lower, and we do have a good volume support. We have good volume support here. Point of control is 1.615. That is where the most volume happened over on these past couple of days. But you can see we have this volume support all the way up at 1.6200 down to the point of control. So it's going to take a lot to really get us to push lower. But we have resistance above us with the 20 and the 50 moving average. So let's, all three of these, the dollar, the euro dollar, the pound dollar, and the Aussie dollar, and even gold, really haven't been trending over the past week or so, and some for a month. So we really want to let the market tell us which way it wants to trend, find that movement, and trade that trend. We don't have a euro trade that really is jumping out at us. We've been watching the euro yen, but it's starting to waver a little bit. It's consolidating at the 200 moving average. If it starts to move, we'll bring it back up. We are watching the pound yen for a couple reasons. First, we have a descending wedge, which we're watching, and then we have a downtrend channel that we're watching. So what we can see is that we potentially have a falling three type pattern here, and the support that was placed is now acting as resistance. And we popped up, came below it, and there's our point of control, basically just below where our resistance is. But if you look at our arrow, you can see it came up. Well, what stopped us? Well, it was the resistance. The sellers came in and found value, and they pushed us right back down. And that's also where we hit overbought a little bit on our RSI, and now we're coming down. So this is just a way of saying that we're going to watch to see if we break lower. Our wicks are starting, the buyers are not feeling as strong. They tried once, and now the sellers are taking control. So we'll see what happens. So we definitely want to see if we can break lower below Friday and Thursday's low. Also on the pound, we have the pound franc, which is in the consolidation range. And now it's testing the lows. As it tests the lows and RSI tells us it's time, it's oversold, then certainly we want to buy it. You can see how much volume is going on in this price level as we consolidate in this channel. So we're buying the lows, shorting the highs in this channel until proven wrong. Okay, here's our buddy, the dollar yen, that we were watching in our downtrend line, and we did pop out of it briefly, but we've come right back into it. So will the support of 80 hold up? You can also see that there's a couple wicks here that we have to be cognizant of, and that is 79.60 on both of these, in that 79.60 range. So we'll see what happens. Look at this consolidation, and so our point of control is at 80.22. Our big volume curve is here. RSI though is oversold, heading back up, so it'll be interesting to see if we can finally get out of this. But this is a lot of volume resistance that we would have to get through. And then once we get up to about 80.30, if we can get up to 80.30, we enter the volume vacuum, so we should travel quickly because we came down on big volumes. We can go up on big volumes up to about 80.60. So there's about 30 pips in there if we can get to it. The other dollar that we're watching is the good old dollar Canadian. Likewise, it's this wedge. We popped out a couple times, but here we are in this. And every time we think this is going to break out, the sellers say, no, I don't think so. So selling resistance, buying support has worked. A couple times you would have taken some heat. So right now you would probably be in the buy the trend line. But notice that RSI is just hanging out. Sure, there was a buy there, but it's gone lateral. So we're really looking to see where this thing's going to break. A lot of volume resistance above us, so you would think that it wants to come lower. But we have the 20 and 50 moving hours below us. So we want this to break out. We want a trend to start, and then we'll be able to trade that trend. For our low volatility watch list, we are watching the dollar Canadian and the pound yen. For the inside bar watches, we're watching the euro franc, the euro pound, the euro dollar, and the dollar Canadian. Look, notice how all the euro pairs there are coming up as our inside bar. Now remember, the strategy that we're watching here for the low volatility watch list, we're looking at each of these pairs on the 1 hour time frame, H1. and then you're marking the high and the low of the last couple hours, and you're looking for a breakout. Similarly, on the inside bar, we are looking for the high and low, but the time frame now is daily. So mark the high and low to daily, and you're trading the breakout of that inside bar range. Let's go to the economic calendar. Okay, as we come to our economic calendar, one thing that should jump out at you is the FOMC meeting for the states is beginning. Now, there's nothing that's going to be released. That will be for Wednesday, but it is beginning. We have an all industry for the yen. Also jumping out at me is the the German ZEW survey, which is basically them asking the economists in Germany what they believe their outlook is going to be for the German economy, industrial economy. Industrial trends for the pound, again, import and export prices. And down at the bottom here, we have current account for New Zealand, the Aussie, and this is basically the transfer payments in and out of the New Zealand economy. As always, we appreciate your viewing our videos, and we appreciate the feedback and the questions that we'll be answering in the forum, or you can get a direct answer to your questions at analysis@fxcast.com. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.